And this week's quote comes from Benjamin Franklin, who, if you don't know who Benjamin Franklin is, I don't know what to tell you. But Benjamin Franklin said this one time: for every minute spent organizing, an hour is earned. For every minute spent in organizing, an hour is earned. And I really do, because organizing may not seem like the most fun task or anything like that, like up front, and you may feel like this is going to take forever or whatever, but the time that you save on the back end is really worth it.
Yeah, we talk in the military a lot about the 7 Ps, being proper prior planning, preventing pitifully poor performance, right? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, old Ben's quote speaks directly to the value of preparation. Every moment that you invest in organizing your financial future, whether those moments are structuring your income, managing your assets, or planning for healthcare, that's going to save both you and your loved ones countless hours of stress, confusion, uncertainty. All those things will be eliminated down the road. Think about it this way, okay? Imagine entering retirement without any clear plan in place. You would most likely spend valuable time scrambling to figure out how you were going to cover your expenses, what you were going to do with your savings, maybe how to handle taxes, or even how to afford healthcare. And that lack of organization will lead you to making very costly mistakes. It will often cause lost opportunities and, quite frankly, Benjamin Franklin, unnecessary headaches, right? But when you take the time now to get organized, whether that's by creating a spending plan, structuring some guaranteed income sources for your retirement, or putting an estate plan in place so that your desires are known for your entire family, you are essentially buying back time in the future. Time that you would otherwise waste on worry, on problem solving, or trying to undo maybe some poor decisions that you have made previously. And so a well-organized retirement plan means knowing exactly where your income will come from each and every single month so that you don't ever have to guess. It means having a tax efficient withdrawal strategy so that you don't give more of your hard-earned money to the IRS each and every single year. You only give them strictly what is necessary. It means structuring your assets to protect against any type of market turn down so that you can enjoy peace of mind instead of stressful situations. It means planning for healthcare, planning for potential long-term care so that your family is not left scrambling. And it means keeping your legal documents, your wills, your trusts, your beneficiary forms up to date so that your loved ones are not burdened with a mess. And the more time that you put into organizing your retirement before you actually need it, the more time that you'll have to actually enjoy it without all of those worries weighing you down. In short, every hour that you spend organizing now is an hour of freedom and security gained in the future. And after all, right, isn't that what a happy and stress-free retirement is all about, Matt?
100% correct there. I mean, it's just really, the last thing that you want to be worrying about in your retirement years is, boy, do I have enough money to do this? Am I going to outlive my money? Are the, things that I want to do, am I going to be able to do them because of my financial situation? Have I prepared for this, that, or the other? Well, if you do that ahead of time, like you were just saying, it really is so much better and such better situation, and gives you the priceless thing that we always talk about, which is peace of mind. And you really, you can't put a price tag on that. So that's absolutely great. And so, as we talk about organization here, it's kind of a couple of things. We're going to actually talk about New Year's resolutions momentarily, because that's kind of at the top of this, but it just made me think of one of the more common New Year's resolutions, other than like losing weight or getting financially fit, is to be more organized, right? So those New Year's resolutions have largely gone by the wayside by the time we get to, March, April. But, the gyms, they were very crowded first couple of weeks of January, and now it's like crickets in there. But, one of the things that we want to talk about here as we do begin this whole spring cleaning for your finances discussion, and it's all really about helping you feel better about your future and, future you, hugging you instead of slapping you in the face. But number one is revisiting those financial New Year's resolutions, because do you even remember what your New Year's resolution was at the beginning of the year, right? I mean, you got to go back.
Lord, I hope so.
you and me both.
If you haven't made any or much progress on your financial goals for the year, guess what, folks? It's still early. We're about to finish first quarter, which means you still have 75% of the year in order to hit the reset, button and use spring as the catalyst to regain momentum and take advantage of our complimentary consultations. Folks, that's a great place to start so that we can help you reach your financial goals.
Yeah, that's right. And, only 8% of people achieve their financial resolutions each year, according to a survey by Fidelity Investments. And, Mike, you are really all about helping people achieve those goals this year. And as you said, we've only gone through quarter of the year. So just about, not even, here very shortly, we will have gone through the first quarter of the year. But it's, there is time to right that ship and get yourself back on the right path. So if you would love to do that, folks, if you feel like your ship has gone off course, financially speaking, or financially planning, retirement planning speaking, get in touch with Mike Zaino. Just give him a call, 704-560-1573. You can go online to moneymatterswithmike.com as well. And one of the things, Mike, we were talking about spring cleaning. If you have, and I know mine is right as I walk in the kitchen, there is one drawer that has just kind of always been that junk drawer that just collects stuff. There are pens and there's like a roll of tape and some scissors in there and stuff that you might, actually need every once in a while. And then there's just a bunch of junk that I don't really know what it is and needs to be cleaned out. And hey, it's spring, why not? But you got to clean out your financial junk drawer this year as well, right?
Absolutely. And spring is the perfect time to clean out your financial junk drawer. I actually have a system and I get every 2 weeks, I have a recurring alarm, and it's a very annoying alarm. So it makes me actually pay attention to it, to go out and go through all of the things that I deemed as something I would get to later. And I have a stack on my desk. And after 2 weeks, that stack gets pretty deep. And so once every 2 weeks, I go through that and do the one. Well, that junk drawer where you stash all your paperwork, all the statements that need attention, the one that's either in your office or in your kitchen, it ends up holding all of the documents that you're going to take care of someday, right? Okay. Sorting through those neglected papers can help ease any financial stress that you might have from simply ignoring them. And taking the opportunity to shred unnecessary documents, file the important ones, and address any outstanding financial tasks is just going to help you overall with your financial state of mind and put you in a much easier place. If you have questions about any document that you've received, don't hesitate to pick up a phone and give me a call. I love helping customers, and listeners get their finances in order. And then because we are about to step into April, everybody's favorite time of the year, right? Do not forget to organize all of your tax-related documents and set up a folder for your 2025 tax documents, including any receipts that you may need to submit, as well as any official forms.
That's right. I mean, I just, as you were talking there, Mike, I could hear my mom's voice in the back of my head saying,
right,
just because you ignore something doesn't mean that it goes away. So it's such a great reminder this time of year, as we're talking about spring cleaning, just to really get things in order that you may have just sort of shoved to the side or shoved in that financial junk drawer or left in that pile on your desk, like you were talking about, where, you've got the stuff that piles up, but you have that system where you take care of it every other week. Well, maybe, work something out like that. If your New Year's resolution was to get more organized, there's a good way to start, and just make sure you're like Mike Zaino and set that annoying alarm so it makes you do it.
Matt, I tell you what, if I did not set that alarm, trust me, it would get out of hand very, very quickly, and things would fall by the wayside. Things that required attention but just weren't urgent. They were important, but they weren't urgent. So it allowed me to, prioritize when I would get to them. And if I just let them go, I would never get to them, and that would cause undue financial stress for me personally.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I sort of live and die by the calendar and by alerts on my phone and by, alarms that I set and all of that kind of thing too. It really, really does help.
We don't just talk the talk. We walk the walk, folks.
That's right. You got to in this line of work. And so number 3, Mike, I think is something really important that people need to keep in mind because, as you often say, if you don't do what we're about to talk about, you're telling me that you don't like free money. Maximize your retirement contributions, right? Especially if you get an employer match. And that's really what we're talking about there with the free money thing is get that employer match, at least max that out, right?
Yeah, pay yourself first, folks. Learn how to do that. And you can contribute to an IRA by April 15th of 2025 to actually maximize your 2024 savings. And so by starting earlier in the year, though, and doing it regularly, you're going to take advantage of the compounding effect, which is going to allow your savings to grow even more over time. So I'm going to challenge each and every single one of our listeners to contribute more this year, even if it's 1 or 2% more this year to your workplace 401k plan, which has higher contribution limits. If you're young, you can do $23,500, I think. And then if you're over 50 or older, you can do up to 31,000. And then there's even an extra, like a super catch up contribution that you can do if you're a few different years, in your early 60s and plan for that. So I'm going to challenge you to do those things because it will bring you closer to financial independence and allow you to have many, many more choices in retirement, because that is what it is all about in retirement. And then if you're not doing at least enough to match what your employer is willing to contribute, you, sir or ma'am, do not like free money. And I do not get that. It's the best kind of money in the world, right? Free money. The second best type is tax-free money. Well, they're not going to give you tax-free money unless you do a Roth or invest in life insurance. So by maximizing at a minimum, what your employee is willing to contribute, that is going to give you opportunity to enjoy that compound. Why is compound growth hard for me to say? It's just real, folks. I'm having a day. But anytime you can look for opportunities to increase your contributions over time, that's just really, really sound financial planning. What does that mean? If you get a cost of living adjustment, if you get a pay raise, instead of taking that home, bump up your retirement savings. You're already used to living off of what you've been bringing home anywhere. That's what that means. And we understand, folks, that many of you find managing your 401k or your IRA like ridiculously overwhelming and probably couldn't even tell me what you're invested in. But if you seek professional financial guidance in doing these things, studies have shown that those who do seek professional help, their balances far outperform those who just, ignore it.
Right. And again, don't ignore it because it doesn't go away. If you ignore it, it's still there and it's still going to be something that you're going to have to tackle at some point. So tackle it now and make your life easier, right? So go to moneymatterswithmike.com, moneymatterswithmike, all spelled out, .com. That's the website. Use the contact page and get in touch with Mike. Ask him your questions or schedule that free consultation. It's free of any cost and any obligation. You can also give him a call at 704-560-1573, 704-560-1573. That is the number. And number 4 here on our list of things you can do to do a little spring cleaning for your finances is making sure that your beneficiaries are named and, most importantly, that those beneficiaries are up to date.
Yes, folks, life happens to us, right? People are born, people die, people get married, people get divorced. The last thing you would want if you pass away is an ex getting the money that you had intended for the rest of your family. So naming beneficiaries, whether that's on a life insurance policy, whether that's on a 401k or employer sponsored plan, an IRA, a bank account, like all the different beneficiary forms that you have, A lot of people don't know that beneficiary forms supersede even a will or a trust. Whatever is written on your beneficiary forms, folks, that's who is going to end up inheriting your assets if you should pass away. So make sure that you review your current beneficiaries and make sure that they align with your current wishes. All right. If you have a former spouse still named as a beneficiary, you might want to update and change that designation.
Yeah, I would think so. Unless you do, you haven't remarried and you get along well with your former spouse. I don't know, but you might want to do that if that is still the case. Just make sure that, as those life changes happen, you update those beneficiaries to make sure that things still align with your wishes. And kind of along those same lines here is to, we're talking about, end of life and inheritance and all of that. Dust off your estate plan, or, if you don't have one, establish an estate plan for the very first time.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of beneficiaries, right? It is recommended to review your estate plan at least every year, or especially whenever a major life event occurs, like all those things that I just, mentioned: birth of a child, marriage, divorce, a job change. All of these things can alter the plans that you have moving forward. So estate planning is not just a one-time task. It does require regular review and regular updates to ensure that your plan itself aligns with your current circumstances as well as your current wishes. And then you want to make sure that you take the time to consider if any changes need to be made, including updating your beneficiaries. Okay. And that'll ensure that your assets are distributed according to your current intentions.
Yeah. And the number 6 thing that we want to mention here when we're talking about spring cleaning for your finances, I think, is, kind of saving the best for last here, and really important for folks, especially if you have not done this yet ever in your life. And that is to have your entire portfolio, no matter how much money you have, your entire portfolio reviewed by a licensed professional. I just happen to know a guy.
And folks, I don't care whether you have $10,000 or $10 million, right? I put my pants on the same way you do, and you're going to get the same Mike Zaino, whether you're the janitor or the CEO. All right. Spring is a great time for a checkup to review your investment portfolio, as well as ensure that your asset allocation aligns with your actual financial goals and your risk tolerance.